What's cracking, y'all? It's your boy Ray G. This is Hot Takes and Trending Topics for Monday, May 6, 2024. If you're new to the channel, appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time. If you stick around to the end of the video and you find the information actionable and or entertaining, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and like. But y'all know what this is about. This is a show where I just sit back, talk about what's happening in the sports world, and engage with y'all. So make sure you holler at your boy in the comments. Let me know what you think about the things that are happening in the sports world today. And let's kick this thing off talking about a player who I did not expect to see in the news, yet we got a signing out of Carolina. Former Seattle Seahawks running back Rashad Penny, y'all, has signed with the Carolina Panthers, who just drafted a running back, Jonathon Brooks, who gave Miles Sanders some money before the beginning of last season, who have Chuba Hubbard on the roster, who looked and played well. This seems like Miles Sanders is out the door. This means absolutely nothing for Jonathon Brooks. This feels like Miles Sanders is about to go bye-bye. Maybe, hell, it's Chuba Hubbard. So we'll see how this plays out. Interesting signing, but this comes right on the heels of head coach Dave Canales talking about their rookie second-round running back, Jonathon Brooks. Let's take a listen to what Canales had to say about Jonathon Brooks.
Versatility, first and foremost. Our system calls for a back that could be used, of course, just in a traditional way, hand it to him. Then how can we get this player in space, being able to get him in perimeter screens, check downs. We got a really cool empty package where we use the backs, flex them out to get matchups, things like that. He's a bigger back. He's got range. There's so much that he brings from a versatility standpoint. That's probably the biggest thing that stood out. And then just vision, patience, contact balance, acceleration. Like, he's got it all. He's the best back in this class, and we were so fired up to just be able to bring him in and create that competition that Dan talked about.
That is Dave Canales talking about Jonathon Brooks, their second-round pick out of the University of Texas. Contact balance, size, speed, explosiveness, his ability to split out, be utilized in the receiving game. This is why I compare Jonathon Brooks to a great value version of the type of skill set Breece Hall can bring to the table. He is one of the few running backs from this 24 class that I believe can profile and be deployed as a bell cow type running back. And I use air quotes when I say that because so many NFL teams now, they deploy two-back systems. So this whole notion that he's going to walk into Carolina and get all the work, probably a little bit out over our skis, especially knowing that he's coming back off of an ACL tear. But look, man, the way that Canales deployed Rachaad White last year, he was on the field all three downs, early, often, handling as much work as he can take. This is going to bode well for Jonathon Brooks long term. For those of you that play fantasy football, this is good. You're looking for that type of running back that, what I say, can command it. And the way that Canales is talking about this offense and this player in particular makes me very bullish about Jonathon Brooks, who I do have right now in my personal rookie rankings as the 10th overall player, super flex, and you go higher up if you take out the quarterback. So to hear that from Dave Canales about second-round pick Jonathon Brooks should just give us the confidence that if that knee is right, that's going to be the guy. I think they're going to form a nice tandem, he and Chuba Hubbard. I do believe Miles Sanders potentially could be on the move. Hell, maybe it's Chuba Hubbard. I don't know the contract situation of Sanders, but this bodes well for Jonathon Brooks. Now, he was not the only offensive mind talking about one of their young rookies and a rookie running back in particular. Let's go to Green Bay camp and hear about Marshawn Lloyd, who had his rookie minicamp this past week as well. And by all accounts, and you read the reports, he looked explosive, he looked good. But let's hear from the people that are actually in the building with Marshawn Lloyd.
You didn't have to play back in 19, right? It was Aaron Jones, Jamal, and AJ just had to play one game basically. Can you see that same thing with Lloyd, or do you kind of need to get him out there?
No, I would like to get him out there as much as possible. I think, he's got a skill set that's a little bit different than AJ's as far as his speed. He's not quite the bruiser that he is, obviously, but he's got a different type of skill set. So it'll be nice to get him the ball in space and just see what he can do, because I think he's going to add a good explosive element to the offense for sure.
This is what you want to hear. If you are a fan of the Green Bay Packers, if you have Marshawn Lloyd in fantasy football leagues, this is what you want to hear. Explosive, dynamic playmaker. Now, make no mistake about it. Josh Jacobs is the lead guy, and in that press conference, they did talk about Josh Jacobs is the guy. He is an every down type running back, but their reasoning for wanting to use him is much different than A.J. Dillon. He's not a bruiser, but bringing that explosive, dynamic speed element to this Green Bay offense. Listen, I want pieces and I want to invest in fantasy football in assets that are part of good offense or guys that are just have no competition whatsoever. He's got significant competition. I know a lot of people are a little bit worried about this situation, but Jacobs is essentially on a one-year deal. This was a running back drafted in today's era and range that, hey, there's going to be some opportunity for Marshawn Lloyd inside of a good offense. They invested in an offensive line this offseason. I really like where things are headed for the Green Bay Packers, and it is exciting to hear these guys talk about this young rookie running back in that light. Very bullish on Marshawn Lloyd's outlook in 2024 and beyond. He's going to be a really good player for Green Bay. Excited to watch him work, and it's good to hear that from the coaches coming from him. All right, let's pivot and talk about another topic that I heard about today, and it's involving the Dallas Cowboys and a trade potentially with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Apparently, there was a report that the Dallas Cowboys were interested in Steelers Pro Bowl running back Najee Harris. Harris is the only active running back to rush for 1,000 yards each of his first 3 seasons. We know that Dallas has an RB problem. They released Ezekiel Elliott. They rolled with Tony Pollard last year. That didn't work out. Tony Pollard is no longer in the building. They avoided the position in the NFL draft. They didn't address the position in free agency. They ended up bringing Ezekiel Elliott back, which they let go the year prior. But he's also not the long-term answer. I don't even know if he's the full 2024 season answer. Behind him, you've got Rico Dowdle, Malik Davis, Deuce Vaughn. This is not a good running back room. I am down here in Dallas. I am a fan of this team, but I am an objective Cowboys fan. Bring them in. I don't even give a shit. Come on, Najee. Now, they're already reporting that this was clickbait, that the Cowboys aren't interested. I'm not buying it. You need to be interested, Dallas, whether that be Najee Harris, Dameon Pierce. Somebody needs to come in to help carry the load in that offense. I would like if Najee Harris was there for everything that he's not, and it's this explosive, big play, home run threat. What he is, he's available. He's consistent. He can eat innings. He can handle the work. You can give it to him in the goal line. He's physical. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. And again, he is available. No matter what's going on, Najee Harris is going to show up. He's going to be ready to play, and he's going to give you everything he has. This would also be good because then it clears the way for Jaylen Warren to do his thing in Pittsburgh as well. I would be in favor of Najee Harris moving to the Dallas Cowboys. I would like to see that. Give us somebody, make me excited some way, shape, or form. But apparently this is false. Apparently this is fake news. The Cowboys aren't in on him. Again, I ain't buying it. The Steelers have already said that they're not going to pick up his 5th-year option. If Dallas will send them anything of substance, Pittsburgh would be silly not to entertain it, especially having Jaylen Warren as the backup to Najee Harris on the roster right now. I think there's a little smoke to this. We'll see how it all plays out. On a positive news front, we did get positive news that Houston Texans star second-year wide receiver Tank Dell is healthy, full recovery, was involved in an incident where he was shot at a Florida restaurant, day party, night party type spot, got shot. Apparently it wasn't very serious, but anytime you hear stuff like that, thoughts and prayers to the player and their family and situation first and foremost. But thankfully, this was not a situation to where we are having to remember Tank Dell or anything to that significant catastrophic degree. He's okay. He'll be ready to rock and roll for the Houston Texans this fall, who are going to roll out one of the nastiest offenses in the NFL with Joe Mixon, C.J. Stroud, Stephon Diggs, Dell, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz at tight end. This is going to be a nasty offense, and I'm glad Tank Dell is healthy. I'm glad he's available. Let me know in the comments, who's the wide receiver 1 in Houston, Tank, Nico, or Diggs? I think for a lot of people trying to figure that out right now, especially in underdog drafts, trying to figure out who the guy is in Houston when all 3 are going to probably be very, very good. Now, the NFL put some clickbait out there as well, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because people are talking about it, saying that he definitely can get that. There's nobody in his way. Hell yeah, this is obtainable. Yet the Vegas odds are saying a little different. So right here, the NFL posted this. Can Malik Nabers break the Giants' rookie receiving record of 1,305 yards set by one Odell Beckham Jr. in 2014? So you got the LSU Tiger following up the LSU Tiger. Unfortunately for Malik Nabers, Odell Beckham Jr. had Eli Manning. He's got to deal with Daniel Jones and that Giants offensive line. The Vegas books have his line set at, I believe, 875 yards for Malik Nabers this year. So quite a bit lower than 1305. This is one where I do not believe he's going to be able to achieve that in 2024. Probably need a new quarterback in order to get this done. But Malik Nabers, excited about the talent. But NFL.com, let me just let y'all know, NFL Twitter account, X account, whatever that is, he ain't achieving this with Daniel Jones at quarterback. So no, he will not break the rookie receiving record of 1305 from the Giants. Not happening. Now, another young player that we got to see some highlights on, or at least some practice clips that he's back, throwing the ball, looks good. I told y'all about this young man going in the 2023 draft. Now, I did say he was my 101, and C.J. Stroud went out there and said, damn it, I'm the best player from this class. But I did vehemently and tell y'all adamantly, draft him over any running back. Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs, it didn't matter. Anthony Richardson is back on the field, folks. AR5 is on the field. And, I mean, he throws lasers. There are people who believe he can be a top 5 passer and a top 5 rusher in this offense this year with Shane Steichen. We saw how Shane was able to make it work with Gardner Minshew and how things started to work early for Anthony Richardson before leaving the season with the shoulder surgery. I'm wheels up. I'm all in, even more than I was as a draft prospect. This offense, they invested in offensive line in the draft. You get a fully healthy, fully committed Jonathan Taylor back in this offense. You bring in additional weapons like an Adonai Mitchell, who I don't believe is going to be a primary dominant receiver, but you add him to stretch the field. You've got Josh Downs at the slot. You've signed Michael Pittman Jr. This offense should be ready to go. I am excited as hell about the perspectives of Anthony Richardson here in 2024. I mean, this could be nuclear season. We already saw how good he was in fantasy for us throughout the first couple of weeks with him not even finishing games sometimes. So if A-Rich can stay healthy this year, this is going to be a crazy offense. It's going to be a special season. Phenomenal player. Good to see Anthony Richardson back on the field. Now, still head-scratching almost 2 weeks after the NFL draft. So there was a report that came out. NFL insider Albert Breer says the Vikings told Kirk Cousins in advance that they were going to take a quarterback of the future in the draft. So Cousins, he was like, nah, I don't want to be there. If you're taking somebody for the future, I'm trying to get up out of here, right? So Kirk Cousins left the Vikings for Atlanta due to the Vikings' plan to draft a future quarterback high in the draft. Cousins, seeking a fresh start, signed with the Falcons only for them to do what? Draft Michael Penix at 8 overall. This ironic twist has sparked a mix of reactions, with some fans and analysts finding humor in the situation. The Falcons' decision to draft the QB high after signing Cousins has led to discussions about the team's future plans and Cousins' role in the offense. Now, we did see a video of Kirk Cousins throwing the ball to Darnell Mooney. It was the first time that I had seen Kirk Cousins on a practice field or any kind of rehab recovery coming back. It was the first time I got to see it. There's only so much you can gain from a slow motion, 7-yard in route. There's not a lot that you can kind of gain and ascertain from that. But him being on the field was positive because I hadn't seen anything with him on the field. So that was positive. This situation, y'all, I know from a draft and what the hell are you doing perspective, like it's funny. It's like, oh my God, this feels like it could get nasty. If this is true, and Cousins' whole point of leaving Minnesota was, y'all are going to draft my future replacement, my heir apparent, I'm good on that. I get it from a business perspective, but let me move on up out of here. I'm going to Atlanta. They want me. They've got the pieces. They got a team that's ready to go. I'm ready to go. Let's make it happen. And then they turn around with the 8th pick. Hell, I think people would have been fine if they could have taken anybody. Brock Bowers, Rome Odunze. They could have made any selection they wanted to. And people may have still had a problem with it. Like, why would you take Rome Odunze when you have Drake London? Why would you take Brock Bowers when you have Kyle Pitts? They would have been pissed, but it wouldn't have been to this degree. When you paid a quarterback over $100 million to come be your guy, and then you draft a rookie quarterback who's older, who you probably need to get on the field sooner rather than later, 8th overall. I can only imagine, because these guys are players. They have emotions, feelings. They've got a sense of pride. There's a sense of narcissism probably. Like, you probably have to be you got to have a little bit of that me inside to be as good as Kirk Cousins is. And when you've bet on yourself years and years and years, and that bet has cashed every time, Shit, yeah, he's probably pissed off. Probably more so than we even realize and recognize right now. I'm very curious how this situation is going to play out. I believe the Vikings can release Kirk Cousins after the 2025 season and save roughly $90 million in cap space. If they don't win this year, like if they don't get it done in the NFC South, they start off slow, they middle through the season, say Penix gets like those last couple of starts that they normally take the veterans out and let Penix play week 17, 18, something like that, and he shows decent. They come out slow in 2025. I mean, isn't there a world where they just pull the plug? They start out slow. First 6 weeks, they're 2-4. You know, they're 3-7. And you know what? We're probably going to release Kirk at the end of the season. We spent this first-round pick on Michael Penix last year. Let's go ahead and start getting him some reps. Now, the counter flip point to that, and the scary part about Penix, even in fantasy, is if that happens, that's 2 years of Raheem Morris failing, essentially. How much longer is his rope and leash? Under this hypothetical, I bet you it would just be for that next season, that year 3 of Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson. If they don't get it done with Penix as a starter, it's a wrap. And then if it's a wrap for the head coach and OC, what does that mean for the third-year quarterback at that point, who is now 26, 27 years old, facing a quarterback and a head coach and offensive coordinator change? Probably not good. This is it is a puzzling situation that I think we're just now scratching the surface on what this is going to look like, and this is going to be one of the more fascinating teams to watch, to monitor, to follow throughout the training camp process. Joe Burrow is back, baby. Joe Burrow back on the field. Dealt with so many injuries last year. I mean, the calf was screwed up coming into the season, and just everything that was going on with him last year, the Cincinnati Bengals. It's just good to see Joe Burrow back on the field. The Bengals posted this today, throwing in these sessions. Hey, it's wheels up for Cincy this year. Wheels up for Jamar Chase. Let's go, Joe Burrow. I'm excited for this offense. Even the running backs of Zach Moss and Chase Brown. In this offense, they both should play well. So to see Joe Burrow back on the field, this needed to make the show. It's good to see Joe Burrow back because the game is better, baby. The game is better when Joe Burrow is on the damn NFL field. We saw it for Cincinnati. There it is. Let's see if there's anything else popping. There it is, y'all. That is the show. That is everything that is sort of trending in the news cycle today. There was a clip of old Bill Belichick walking out of an establishment shirtless, apparently, from a woman's house, Tom Brady said during that Netflix special. You can go look that video up if you want to. Kind of funny to see old Bill, Hoodie Bill, out there stumbling around the morning after. But I appreciate everybody tapping in. This is a show we just talk about what's happening in the sports world. We ain't got to be long. We ain't got to be short. We just do what we need to do to get done what we need to get done. So I appreciate you being here. Hit that thumbs up button, like the content. Probably be back on Wednesday for some more. Let's see what's happening in the world of sports. Hot takes, trending topics with your boy Ray G. Thank y'all. I'm out. Peace.